two and a half, three. Wow, you're all like blurry behind you.
Well, I got a messy office.
Oh, so you don't want to have like a pretty picture behind you today?
Well, there is no pretty picture behind me. It's just a messy office.
Cole, you don't have pretty pictures at all. That's
Thank you. That is the nicest thing you said about my work
I knew.
before.
Hey, big news.
What?
Big news for our audience. A big thank you, a big shout out to our droves and droves and droves of
The
people
multitudes?
flocking to our show. We're now at 808 followers.
Wait a minute. I thought we were at 500 the last time we talked.
No. We were just below 800. Remember,
Oh,
we thought
800.
when we did those 5 tips for editing, we thought for sure that would go viral. Well, we were wrong again. We're just not very good at this. at gauging. Now, my daughter, we were yesterday spending time together. They're both in social media marketing. And she said, Dad, I can help you. So we need a lot of help. So we're going to see if I can employ my daughter to help us like get up to 810 or so.
I just got an email today, somebody offering to help us
Oh,
boost our
really?
numbers on YouTube. Yeah, so we're on the radar.
We
Just
are on the radar big time, big time.
hey, I've got a little beef to pick with our viewers. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You know who you're at. What is with all the love emails for John and comments, and I'm getting all the hate? It's like he's the Paul McCartney of this group, and I'm the John Lennon
That's
getting the hate.
right. That's
Geez,
right.
I'm getting a little sensitive here.
And it's pretty clear that we have no knowledge of street photography at all. Oh, we get called out big time that there are great color. And so I reminded this viewer that we're just two guys having a stinking dialogue. None of what we say has to be true or you have to believe or anything, right? We're just having a dialogue. And it became quite evident that we have no clue what we're talking about when it comes. But what we can say is that we love black and white street photography, and we do think it is fine art, regardless of what that lovely viewer said and called us out on. But hey, he did say at the end in parentheses, I love listening to your show. So even though we get called out, it was a very kind way for him to say, but I still love you guys. So we got that going for us. Hey, speaking of lists, that we're going to try it again. I think we should try it again because the best, I think we had almost 600 views of when you said the 5 things that you can get to five, what is it to get you to find your vision?
Five something.
Something, yeah, it was 5 something because it seems like so. I think if I remember, don't you have another 5 lists that you sent me a few days ago? Let's cover those and see how this one
Yeah,
rings.
yeah.
We
I've
get up
just
to
got
810.
gather these little tips, and I've been collecting them, and we got up to 5, and I thought this would be a good time to share them. I was up in Vidavoo yesterday. It's a kind of it's a Wyoming's version of the Alabama Hills or
Oh,
California's version of
nice.
Joshua Tree. And I was working there and I had this shot, but there were these 2 pine trees in the way. So I got myself on this rock and I'm really precariously, the camera on the precariously perched on this rock. And I really can't stand there and shoot it. So I hook up the app, the Canon Connect or whatever. I think we
Yep,
all have one,
yep,
so I could see and remotely hit the
yep.
shutter. And I could not get that thing to connect. I mean, I'm trying Wi-Fi, I'm trying Bluetooth. Then I realized that I was upwind of the camera. And a lot of
No,
people don't appreciate this, but those Wi-Fi signals are very delicate and they blow downwind with the wind. And so as soon as I positioned my phone downwind of the camera, I could connect and I was able to use the Connect app.
that's
So that's the
amazing.
first tip.
I
First
did
tip.
not know that that was true. So, like, if I'm out and I'm struggling with Wi-Fi, even if it's not a photography thing, what you're saying is if I'm, what was it? I got to be
Well,
down.
most of those Wi-Fi's are strong signals. The camera has this tiny little signal.
Oh,
Wind blows it away.
how about
So
that?
just stay downwind.
That's good
Okay, tip
knowledge.
number 2.
Good tip.
When you see a group of photographers
Mhm.
all focused, you'll be driving down the road and here's this group all focused on something.
Yep.
Here's my suggestion. There's something there. You got to get in on this action.
No kidding. That's what I
Usually
was.
they're in the way. So what I found is I just step in front of them, set
Oh,
up a tripod, shoot. I don't have them in the shot. Yeah, you
Smart.
take a little heat, but you know, you get the shot, and that's the most important thing.
I think if I were to do that, I would just, because I'm a professional, I would be able to get in there and out of there very quickly, probably before they started swearing at me, and then
Well, you're
exit,
tall enough, you could just shoot over their
and
heads.
then just on the way out, you know.
And now this third tip is one that I learned from my father. He was a TV repairman back in the 1960s. And so if you ever have your camera, like we had one on our last, I think it was one of the Death Valley ones, where the camera just wouldn't act right.
Oh,
And the woman was going to resort to
yep.
resetting all the settings. And that does fix it. Problem is, you spend another
Oh
couple
my
of hours
gosh.
going through each setting, getting it the way you want.
Yep.
And so this is
Absolutely.
a trick to try before you resort to that. And again,
Right.
learned it from my father. Open up your hand in a big palm, smack the camera on the side, and that usually will fix it. And if it doesn't on the first time, what my father would do is he would hit it a second time and swear. And that seemed to always work.
That is a great tip. So
Uh,
next time, just whack your
yeah.
$8,000 camera, buddy,
But
pretty
with an
firmly.
open hand,
Also, not a
with
fist. Don't
no,
punch.
with a Sean Connery smack. Oh,
That's a
we're
good
gonna
one, though.
get
I'm
some
gonna
hate mail
try it
on that.
because every once in a while I get so
Yeah.
dang frustrated, and people tell me to undo the
Uh,
lens, put the lens back on. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna
yeah.
smack the dang lens. Okay, yep, that's
Now, this
what,
last one,
three?
I was just working on my VitaVu images, and I don't know why my camera's got so many hot pixels. I mean, I would say there's about 50 of them scattered
Holy
around.
cow!
And you know, so what I found is I used to go through with that little self-healing clone tool and hit each one, magnify the screen. But what I found is I've got a little room air conditioner because I've got 3 computers running in here, and the room gets hot.
Yeah,
So I turn that room air conditioner on, and I get that temperature down about, I found about 12 degrees below ambient.
yep.
Pixels go away. They
So
become
hot
cool.
pixels
Go
are no
away when
longer hot.
you get that temperature down, they're gone.
Who knew? I would
Yeah.
have thought that the hot pixels are part of the image capture process. I had
Yeah.
no idea
No,
that they're that if they're
try
so
it.
even when you've got them in the raw file,
Yep.
temperature matters in that.
Yep.
Wow. So downwind
12 degrees.
temperature,
Yep.
that's fantastic. I'm going to do that because I hate those stinking hot pixels. It's like
And
little
you've
white.
got one for the fifth one.
Oh, so you know what I do? You want to, this is what I'm thinking of when I'm kind of frustrated and kind of in a funk and just I struggling. I find that if I just go hop in the car, bring my backpack with me, it's like I'm on a Sunday drive, right? And just go out for a Sunday drive, no intentions, kind of like we talk about on this show, no intentions, no expectations, none of that stuff, right? And and then when you happen upon a fellow photographer, and you know how you know they've got a tripod, right? I mean, that's a photographer. I'm not
Pro
talking
tip.
about somebody with an iPhone or an iPad going like this, right? Those are always interesting. That's not a real photographer. They've got to be with a tripod, with a tripod. And you pull over, stop the car, and you join in. I'm try not to be annoying. You don't want to like I would not try to put your tripod like
Wait,
right
wait,
where
wait. I'm
they
going to
are.
write that quote down.
You try not to
You
be
try
annoying,
not to be annoying.
which is hard for me because
John tries not to be annoying.
that's the only
Okay.
time. Other than that, I like try hard to be annoying. So there's your five. What are we calling these? 5 tips for successful photography from the John and Cole show. You know what you didn't do, by the way, and you can
But
still do it. You didn't hold up our show intro. Gosh, shows you how bad we are. I guess that's our scrolling end credit.
rolling
All right.
credits.
That's our end credit, which goes away. I love that.